Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Apex Online Racing F2 Grand Prix here in Japan. I'm Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Jamie Amkasa. Elder, how are you doing?
I'm trying to remember to turn my mic on. How are you?
Much better than your microphone is, apparently. Yeah, I'm all good. It's Japan. It's a legendary track. It's been here for many, many years. We've had many sort of incredible races here. Lots of overtaking as well. And I mean, for the most part, it's quite tough to go for any sort of overtakes, especially throughout the entire S's. That's a really difficult area. The Deguners are doable in the second one, but not the first. And then you're realistically looking at the hairpin. And then after that, it's the lead up to 130R, and that's pretty much it. You can't really do much more after that. So we are underway with the qualifying. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, I mean, you will see some people trying to do it into Spoon. That goes without doubt. We've seen it in the official F1. They've gone for it into there. It's not worked out too well, but it doesn't mean it's not impossible. It's going to be tricky to see. And apparently it's going to be a completely dry race. It looks a little overcast at the moment for qualifying, but race is forecast to be dry. I say forecast because things do tend to change. So we'll see.
So, looking at the track, we have 15 drivers on there, and lots of them are very, very quick. We've commentated a lot of races where a Nick Turn has been incredibly strong. He's got the likes of Zones there alongside of him today, trying to be scrapping with him throughout. Copy has actually really stepped his game up, but I don't think he's quite yet at the pace. I mean, we actually said it the other day, and I ended up eating my words, but I don't know. I want him to do well, and I think he has the opportunity to do well. But yeah, the one thing that we could really take away from the last race we commentated, it was Japan as well, was Zones just got too many penalties. If he can fix that in the last 2 days, he should be in a position where he could absolutely kill it and get onto a podium without any problems. But he really has to reel it in.
I think he's trying to appeal to some of those bigger penalties. This is one of these tracks. It's very easy to pick up a 5-second penalty at the chicane. And even if you just slightly cut it, you get hit with a 5-second, which sometimes seems a bit harsh, but that's how the game works. It's either a little tiny cut and you get a warning, get a few of those, you get a 3-second, or a straight 5-second. And a warning isn't enough, but 5 seconds is too much. It's one of those situations in my eyes. You do gain an advantage. It's clear that you do if you cut out the corner quite as they do there. So we'll see how that works out, particularly at the moment, because your lap could be put out by messing up the qualifying lap. So as Dax has just missed the first corner, so that's our first casualty of the day. Yeah,
that's unfortunate. Dax is someone who you can rely on in the qualifying to be that guy to smash it and get himself up in the top 5 at least. But yeah, mistakes like that will cost you quite substantially, and he really needs to reel that in. I did speak to our good friend Yolta literally just before we went live, just to see how he was feeling going into this. Now, he has been on vacation. He's only just come off of it. He's had today only to practice, and he did tell me that he has improved since the last time he raced here, which was not that long ago. But he didn't feel that confidence. I'm not going to put him in my top 3 prediction. Before we start seeing times in, are you ready for a top 3 prediction?
Yeah, I think it is probably we're going to look towards the racing points. I'm relatively confident, but not massively confident. It's going to be Enter Turn from Copy after, especially what we saw on Friday. Enter Turn Copy, then I think Zones is probably the next man to beat. He's a very quick qualifier, and I reckon he's going to put it 3rd place.
Okay, fair enough. I am going to go with that Nick Turn in P1. I don't think we're going to be seeing Copy in the top 3 for qualifying. I think we're looking at Bluxan for P2. He has been seriously quick, and I think he has got the minerals in order to achieve that. We just got to see if he's got it today. So I'm going to go Nickton P1, Bulksan P2, Zones P3. But we're already seeing times flocking in. Brownie's currently leading the board with a 127.8 and immediately gets beaten by Zones, who did a 127.7. Now, me and you commentated the other day, like I say, on this race, we saw a Nickton and Copy smash down the lead up to 130 with a huge toe, which they're about to recreate again. And at Nickton set a 127.0 straight away, first attempt. Yeah, he might actually hinder his teammate here.
Actually, I think he's got away with it just. He's not going to be as useful as it could be. I think he just made a mistake in Spoon. Now he's going to have to get out of the way, but it's still going to be very useful. Copy doesn't go purple in Sector 2. So that's kind of shows on that. It's a bit of a corner cut there. Is that him? That's the back end stepping out as well. Is he going to put a time in? Yeah. He does. It's not as competitive as he'd like, though.
No. I mean, a couple of days ago he did a 127.9 as his first lap, and it wasn't until he got another toe later on when the track evolves that he started to smash it further down. I think he ended up getting a 127.4 when he finished, so he needs to sort of aim to beat that again today. They've had practice, they've got the skills. It's whether or not they can do it. And Nickton's now started his lap, so he'll be receiving the toe from his teammate when they get to the
Copy better get going. Copy can't sit around and wait. Nickton is already right up his rear. Probably about 2 seconds behind at this point in time. So Copy really needs to hammer down. He can't lose any time here. And Nickton's made a mistake.
He's backed out.
Yeah, he's out. He's backed out of it.
Yeah.
He's lost it to the Degness.
Yeah. I mean, he's that kind of guy who will do that, where he's doing the hot laps, and quite often he makes mistakes, invalidates on a fair few. In fact, I've seen a couple of races where he's actually been so hard to push through the track that he's actually invalidated quite early on. And as a result, and he just couldn't stop invalidating until he got the final lap. His only lap he got on the board, he smashed it and got on pole.
Yeah.
But it just showed a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of problems that Nickton was facing. And even a couple of days ago, he's still got a couple of penalties himself. And if he can keep that in check, he's very looking to be the favourite for this race.
Yeah, he did go purple in Sector 1. That just shows the pace that he had got. And Sector 1 ends just before the first of the Degners. So he obviously was doing well up until that point and kind of fell off it. Smee just put a time. It's a little bit tame. It's a 34.8.
Here's a banker. He's going again. He's currently smashing it right now in Sector 1, trying to improve. So, yeah, definitely not the lap, but something went wrong, similar to Nickton, it seems. I think Nickton will be coming into the pits. He tends to do that. So I don't expect to see a time from him just yet. But we have still got Dax, Eulis, and WoW to get on the board. We'll see if they can bring it home. WoW's actually been quite rapid over the last few races. Obviously, I wasn't there for the last one. I don't know if you can remember how that went.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Benetton just trying to work out what he's doing. He's going so slow.
I'm not sure.
Is he hoping Copy will come out of the pits by now and he'll get another toe? But he's not going to. Because he's now impeded his start of his lap. I don't know. That's interesting.
I wonder if they were just talking about the situation and feeding it back, potentially. Anyway, let's go back to Smeege then real quick, because he's currently going through 130R, going up to the triangle. Hard brake. Don't cut it. Nice, done that perfectly. We got him really solid through there. Nice and smooth. Watch out for the bump. The bump will kill you. It's a much better time. Still in the top 10, but only just. He only has to improve by just over 2 hundredths of a second in order to beat Kimmy's. And then he can start working his way towards Hitton, Paddy, and the rest of the crew. But as it stands from Paul, he's sitting a pretty 6/10ths off at the minute. So really needs to find some time.
Dax is going to put in a time here if that wasn't a corner cut. Plus the fact he hasn't immediately thrown it in. Says that it wasn't. He's run out of ERS. Goes P5.
I mean, these times are pretty close. Look at this. The gap between 5th and 6th, Yalter and Dax, 9.76, 9.90. It's so close between those two. And even then, it's only slightly spread out between Dax and Copy, and then Brownie and Copy in a similar boat, 4 hundredths of a second separating them. And then you got literally 1 hundredth of a second separating Brownie and Bulksan. And then 3 hundredths after that. So it's a really stacked grid, really close together. And this is looking exciting.
Eunice has put a time in right in the middle of them all as well. So everyone's put a time is separated by less than a second at the moment, which is always great to see.
Yeah,
And we fully expect any turn will actually be a couple of tenths faster than Zones, I suspect, when he gets the time in. Which will ruin everything, but can't really complain.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm intrigued. It kind of makes me wonder, if a Nickturn got promoted to Tier 1, how would he handle it? Because, you know, obviously we know that these come as a package. If you take a Nickturn, you're taking copy. If you take copy, you're taking a Nickturn. If you were to separate them, would a Nickturn feel as comfortable on the track? Or
His race pace is fine. His qualifying pace would dip slightly, but not significant. And I think he'll be starting at the back. He'll be starting probably. We won't be starting top 10, I don't think. Or it depends on who turns up sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's definitely someone who's got the ability to. I reckon finishing wise, he would finish top 10, probably the bottom of the points. But qualifying, he'll probably start around 12, 13, 14, that sort of region. And if he hasn't got copy, and I don't think copy's got the pace to come with him. Having said that, copy does on some days have the pace to match him. Other days he's quite a bit off it. And speaking of those two, copy is on his way on a lap at the moment. No, he's not. He's backed off. Is Ellington on a lap? No.
Hello, Zones. 127.474. So he's now really started to break that gap a bit further apart. He is 3/10 clear now of Bulksan. Obviously, a Nickturn yet to put a time on the board, but like you said, copy out there in a minute, going for a hot lap, about to smash it again. It's slow. So
sure if he is. I know Ellington definitely is about to start one as Rupert comes to finishes and moves up to 11th. So Grizz back to being quite tight again. Top, while everyone's put a time separated by less than 9/10. And
there you go. Yeah, Wow did. Wow just went up to P5, 127.927. So he's actually really jumped up the field there. He's up alongside Copy. Yeah, it's about a 10th off, a bit under a 10th off, but still. That is really good going, considering Copy's getting the tail. He was looking strong a couple of days ago. Today, Copy looks a little bit weaker than we previously saw.
Just trying to find out who's on their way to complete a lap. I know Copy is on his way, but he's only just going through the hairpin now, so he's the next man to actually finish a lap, despite how far away he is, if he's actually going for one.
He won't finish it. He's currently waiting to give it Nickturn a tail. And he's just a bit further upfield, which is obviously totally okay. They've rehearsed this a fair few times. Nickturn is going to try, unless there he is. I was going to say, unless they've had a spat, which I don't think they have. There he is. Copy gets away perfectly. Oh no, he hasn't.
Oh, Edison had the wobble. Copy's in the right position. I think that helped Edison stay in the slipstream for a little bit longer. Copy now needs to bail, and Edison goes down through. So time-wise, Edison went purple sector 1. Smashed sector 1, not purple sector 2. There's a 10th off the time of Zones, but this is where it could all matter through the final corner. Who won?
Boom. There it is. 127.306 then is your new provisional pole. Smeech has retired. That looks like it's an actual...
That's a crash.
Crash retirement. Yeah, there it is.
You'll see him.
On the right side. Just lost the rear then, I can only imagine.
We've seen a few do that. Yeah. And I don't think that he'll be the last today.
It's not an area of the track that you can sort of go too hard on the accelerator or run too wide with the car. If you do, that is the outcome. Yolta then, he's also on a hot lap right now, coming through the S's. He's coming up behind Nickturn. He should jump out of the way. He's pretty good at keeping his awareness alive. Let's see if Yolta can capitalise on anything.
I think Ellington needs to get out of the way now, or just put the foot down and go. Because if you don't jump out of the way, you're going to give a potential challenger a little tow. She should be okay, but Kimmy's in front of now in front of Yeltek is the next man up. So
he's out of the way.
He's definitely out of the way. That was Kimmy's. Ellington's already gone around the spoon, so nothing going to be given to Yeltek.
Oh, he's lost the rear a little bit. Is that invalidated? That might be an invalidation. He ran very wide. I think all four wheels were away past the white line. Is that Nickturn?
No, it's personal best sector. I think he's still on the go. Doesn't normally give a personal best if it's not.
Looks like invalidated.
That's
an invalidation. Yeah.
If he hadn't done it before, he's done it now.
But I mean, he was looking on point. He was looking to be, you know, up there with the big boys, potentially even in the top 3. At least he knows now mentally, I have that pace. But looking at the time there on the left, we are now at the calm before the storm, as all the drivers, or at least majority of them, are in the pits prepping themselves to go again. Copy's made his way out of the pits, so he's going to be looking to receive the tow from his teammate, which we'll see soon. So I've actually figured out how they do this. They wait until about 3/4 of a way around the track before Copy, or whoever is going to give the tow, actually comes out. So Nick Turn gets the tow last. That's the agreement they've clearly made. So Copy goes out first, and Nick Turn will come out as Copy's just starting sector 3 probably. And then he'll just drive relatively slowly around until he gets to Spoon, where right as he's leading up towards it, he should have timed it just right, so Copy will right up behind him, tow him all the way down, and then rolls reverse.
So it's going to work for him. They are starting to move now in the pit lane zones. Dax and Bogdan are on their way out. On track, Hitton, Copy, and Brownie. As Ulyss has bailed out of his flying lap and straight into the pits. Brownie's not on a fly, but he's on his way into the pits. And there's movement down at Williams, so that's FK on his way out as well. All systems go.
All systems definitely go. Copy then. Let's see if you can get yourself into the top 3. You made me look silly a couple of days ago by doing exactly that. I didn't predict you in the top 3, and we haven't done predictions today.
Yes, we have.
Probably do it for... No, we did. We did. Enickton, Boltan, Zones, I said, wasn't it? Who did you say?
I said Enickton, Copy, Zones.
Oh, I mean, that's... Now you're looking a bit wrong, but Copy, starting his lap now then. Off he goes.
Yeah. So I was looking at the track map. Enickton was a little bit late coming out, and he's actually just gone through turn 1, so he's not that much ahead. Just gonna have to put the hammer down and get going. I'm currently on board with Hitton, who's just going through the Dunlop corner now. He's going to be the next man to put in a lap if he doesn't make a mistake like he just did, and he won't be the next man to put in a lap. Never mind.
He can go again though. That's the thing. He has still got enough time to go again, so no worries there at all. I think Enickton has done a solid job of maximising everything. He should cross the line with about 13 seconds remaining, I believe.
Browning's done for. Best he's getting P3. Not too bad if he can hold it. We saw a great race from him on Friday, didn't we? Yeah. You counted him out. I was hesitant about counting him out and did anyway, and he gave us a good show.
But the thing is, if we back in, if we say, yeah, he's going to get into the top 3 because of blah, 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 it doesn't work. He never does it. So we have to doubt him in order for him to do well. I think it's like it's the opposite of commentator's curse, isn't it?
Well, we commentate curse him a lot anyway.
Never mind.
That was in pit lane, don't worry.
Okay, good.
Copy, end of turn, tow achieved. Copy now on a personal best lap. Paddy ahead of him, hopefully that's not going to give him any problems through the final chicane. Paddy is just about to start his lap, so a little bit extra of tow potentially there for Copy.
Oh,
wow.
There it is.
Are you counting him out still?
I'm prepared to eat my sock. But Zones is out there. He's currently going. He's just finished the hairpin, working his way towards Spoon. So we'll see if he has the ability to get himself at the top. It's going to be tough when you've got these two properly towing it. Yeah, Boltan.
He's next going through 130R.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Wow. They're both on the barriers at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's right off the gravel as well. I don't know what's happened there.
There's 3 cars there.
5-place grid penalty applied to Wow. Boltan has improved. He goes P3. That's the end of the session, so he's going to be there at best. FK is retired as well. He also has a 5-place grid penalty, so he's starting at the bottom. Zones goes Paul. It is provisional. 127.202, so it is just ahead of Copy. Now Enickton needs to do what he did the other day. Can he get himself a 127.0? Better yet, can he get into the 126s? No one has achieved that in the session so far. This guy could do it, unless Copy doesn't get the exit right, which he has. This could actually be a better tow than what Copy got from Enickton.
Enickton did go faster than Zones in Sector 1, but Zones hit purple 2 and 3. As Enickton is going to get a great tow there off Copy. Purple Sector 2. He's going to do it. I think he's got to here. Final corner then. What's he going to do? Don't lose the back end.
This is a 26. Oh, it is 126.981. Well played at Nickturn. Gets onto the top step. Zone sits in P2, Copy in P3. So Bulksan not quite as high up as I expected him to be, but I mean, look at the gaps. They're still very close. You'll get to see the exact margin between them just now. So Nickturn is on pole. He has set a 126.981. It's a 2/10 gap between him and Zones in P2, and that's when things start to get pretty tight. Copy 300ths of a second behind him in P3. Bulksan there in P4. Paddy P5. Brownie P6, Dax P7, Kimmy's P8, Wow P9, Hitton in P10, Yolta P11, FK Gaming is in 12, and these two are just outside of the 1 second margin, literally just, along with Rupert, actually, only just out, but FK Gaming has a 5-place grid penalty, then you have Eulis and Smeech. I've just realised, FK is the only one to have that penalty.
I didn't see what happened. I did see FK, Dax, and FK, Kimmy's and Wow in the barrier. And which is quite unusual that both the Renaults were in the barrier. I think FK might have something against Renaults.
Clearly, yeah. I think that must be what it is. So good stuff then to be able to achieve what has been achieved. Most of the drivers did it. Oh, sorry, all drivers did it on soft. No one tried any alternate tyre, but they may choose to do that now. As you can see on the right hand side, they are on the grid, ready to sort their strategy out, how they're going to attack this Grand Prix. Are they going to choose to overfuel? I mean, we see it Nickturn tends to underfuel by a lap or two, and he doesn't actually fix it until right near the end of the Grand Prix. So I don't know how he manages to do that. I mean, I overfill by 2 laps, and I still fail miserably at getting my fuel under control. It just shows how much these guys practice. And I wonder if we're going to see anybody go for some mediums outside of the top. I can see some already.
They've got to, haven't they? They're starting in the back. Quick one on FK Gaming. He made a mistake, and then the guy, I think it was Kimmy's, made the same mistake and went into him, which caused him to get which caused FK to get the 5 second grid penalty.
So, I mean, the stewards may review it, but I think ultimately it's going to be irrelevant because you're going to serve the 5th place whether you like it or not. He's currently down there in 15th place. So, you know, it is what it is. These things do happen, mistakes are made, and sadly it means FK Gaming will start at the back of the grid. But starting at the front are the 2 Racing Point drivers in P1 and P3. Now bear in mind they will start on the same side of the track as each other, so they could give each other the tow in towards turn 1. And if I remember correctly, I believe first place is on the right hand side, so you do have the inside line going into turn 1. There is an opportunity here for Copy to get the inside, if I'm right.
I think it's on the left actually.
Do you want to, would you want to put a bet on it? Do you want to play? Should we have some stakes? Do you want it medium rare?
As in 95 to 99% of the time, the pole position is on the racing line because it's grippier than being off the line where the discard and rubbish ends up.
So,
think of
that
all
doesn't
the tracks
answer my question though. Do you want to put a wager on it?
Well, you already owe me a beer from a previous bet, so I'll double or nothing it.
Wait, so let me just clarify. If I'm right and it's on the right hand side, you buy me 2 beers.
No. You cancel out your previous bets.
Yeah.
Well, it's not for me. Nothing for you.
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm right, I don't give you anything. You get me 2.
No, you already owe me 1 beer. He's on the left anyway.
Doesn't mean anything.
He's on the left.
Could you switch over to the right?
No,
Please go to the right. Please go to the right.
Not going to the right.
Please go to the right, Nickturn. Okay, you didn't.
You don't know Formula 1, do you?
No, well, I mean, listen, I have seen it a few times where it's been on the right side, okay?
It's on right on some tracks, yes.
Yeah, exactly, and I thought this was one of them. Evidently, it's not.
But
Zones has the opportunity into turn 1 to get the race lead. If he gets a good acceleration
Prediction,
out of the corner.
quick.
As is, absolutely as is. In fact, no, as is. Lights on.
Turn, Bulksan, Brownie.
And off we go with the Japanese Grand Prix, and Nickturn will need to get a beautiful run in towards turn 1. He's already trying to cover him off, and Zone sees it. Comes back over to protect himself, give him a better line, but he's stuck on the outside. He's protected himself from Copy, but Nickturn will hold on to race lead at least for now, as Zones is right on the gearbox of him. If a mistake is made, he will capitalise, and that has not happened. We are keeping it clean. But we are seeing Hitton go. He's off in the gravel. That is a bad time for him. He has really lost out, but he hasn't got damage, so he can still keep it going. That is definitely going to have cooked his tyres a fair bit.
He just slid off by the looks of things, and Kimmy's attacking Dax. That's a little nudge there. Kimmy's had no room to go there, and well, that's the result of what happens when you try and send it down the outside of Degner's when they're. If he's alongside, yeah, justified, but he wasn't. And
yeah,
there was nothing.
Dax did hold him on that line, but
Ulysses spun as well.
yeah, everyone's falling apart. Well, 3 people have fallen apart. They've gone to the back of the grid, but this is working wonders for the medium runners. Look, Yalta up in a P9 now, FK Game in P11 from dead last, remember, and Smeege there in P12. So clearly something's working out on these mediums. I have seen these mediums go quite a way into this Grand Prix, but the softs will disintegrate. We think around about
10.
lap 8 is where they're going to come in on the initial ones, depending on how bad they've scrubbed them. So we're looking at Kimmy's, Hittinen and Eulis for that. And those that have not screwed it up just yet should be able to stick out to about lap 9, lap 10, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we expect them to come in on the qualifying softs, should we call them. In that region, 9, 10, maybe 11. We saw it again on Friday where the undercut was very there for someone to come in on lap 9 as opposed to someone to come on lap 10. About a 2-second swing, I think it was. So keep your eyes on that when the pit stops start happening. Until then, not a lot of changes in the top 7. In fact, none.
But I am seeing a gap start to form a little bit more than I expected between Copy and Zones. That is, I know it says 4/10 on the left. It isn't, I can guarantee you. I mean, that is about second. 7, maybe 8. 8/10.
Copy and Zones is a second.
Is a full second already? Wow.
Yeah, it's 1.1 a moment ago. And Bogdan is right up the rear of Copy, so Copy has a lot of work to do. Yellow
Dax.
in sector 2.
Dax has lost it on the hairpin.
Oh,
I think he just span it. It looks like he just lost the rear. No contact, no damage. He's all good. So, but he is now dead last. So now he's an additional driver to be the ones that will pit a bit earlier.
Potentially. He might be able to cool him down a bit. But Bogdan is attacking Copy now as we go up the hill towards 130R. Bogdan's going to go for it. Ooh!
He held it though. He's kept himself alive. I mean, I thought he was dead at that point. I really thought that was the end of his race, but he's still there. And Copy did well to defend him as well. And Nick Turn says fastest. Zones immediately smashes it. Copy is in very much defense mode, and lap 3 means the times on the left are now correct. It also means DRS is available, and Yalta is going for wow.
Yeah, well, he has to. He's got to get past him if he wants to make these mediums work. You want to stick with the cars that you're battling with. And the guys you should be battling with are in front of Wow. I'm not saying you should be battling with Wow, but Wow is 2.5 seconds back off Brownie, and he also wants to get up and hover around the back end of Brownie to make the switches when the pits happen. Kimmy's and Speed are also battling further back as well. So
now the worry for Yalta is purely if he makes an attempt at passing Wow and it fails, he's opening himself very clearly to the drivers behind, because there's a very close train right behind him, where they could easily just slip through and he could lose a position, potentially even lose more than that. But, you know, Yalta is very skilled in these areas. He knows exactly what he's doing, so keep an eye out for him to be able to send it down probably into turn 1 when he's got DRS and make that a very simple, easy overtake, and then he has to worry about just closing it in on towards Brownie, who's currently battling with his teammate.
yeah, Yalta's big decision or big issue could be the drive off the final corners. With the less grip on the mediums, he's going to struggle to get as much power down, and he's going to have to hope Wow isn't as clean off and he gets his own best drive possible and have to do something about it. But there should be some DRS action going down towards turn 1. Where's Zones in 8 and 10? Zones is looking good.
Yeah, he might actually go for it. In towards turn 1 then. This is going to be quite tight. They're going to be side by side right the way through. Zones has got the inside, and Nick Turn will fall down just a touch, but he's still right there. He has to back out. It's the only way that's going to work out for him. Bogdan and Copy stay exactly as is, but Yalta and Wow, they swap places as well. Yalta is now free. He just needs to get that gap pushed up.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more ERS as well than Wow, about 10% between them. So he can really hammer that in if he wants to start pulling away. Because he's also got to remember that Wow is attacking and defending at the same time. If Wow gets a good drive off, he's got a chance of attacking. If he doesn't, then he's on the back foot, and Rupert is right up Wow's rear. And any little wobble can spell disaster for anyone really at this stage. It's still very early. And I mean, gaps is around 2 seconds at the highest, so one small mistake and you're losing a few places.
Well, speaking of losing a place or two, Copy is about to lose one as Buckstown's right in the gearbox of Copy, and there's nobody ahead for Copy to get the toe from. He knows it. He's trying his best to hold it, but 2 seconds is the gap between him and Nick Turn, and it's just not looking too good for him. Is he going to go for the break? No, surely he's going to hold it. He's in mode 4 at the minute. He's turned it off. Yeah, he's going to wait for the DRS, but look how close he is. Copy will not be able to hold him back.
Brownie as well, looking to size up Paddy just behind these two as well. So Brownie wants to get past his teammate. Boltzan is making moves on Copy. And WoW is nowhere near Rupert, so who's going to make moves? Brownie's making moves.
Oh, so he's... Oh, Buckstown's going right around the outside into turn 1. He's got the momentum. Is he going to be able to keep it together? Copy are wheel to wheel. They are going to touch each other. Copy is very much in trouble. He's lost the car as a result of the contact. Copy gets rotated. He's falling down the order. Everyone's just cruising past him. Rupert is having a good old scrap as well. He's actually fighting now with Smeege and Hittanen. He's trying to hold Hittanen back. Hittanen's rotated as well. Ulyss is going to get caught in it. That's a collision between Ulyss and Hittanen, and that's damage for both the Toro Rosso and the McLaren. And Copy is in a similar boat as Hittanen. This has just been flipped on its head.
Yeah, the advantage for Copy though is the avoided damage. Ulyss and Hittanen both have front wing damage on their cars, so they are going to be... Well, fortunately they're on the softs, they're not on the mediums. If they're on the mediums, strategy's gone. They're on the softs, so they could potentially pit and try and get those mediums to the end. Maybe this lap or next. And we'll see what strategy comes into play, but Copy, well, he's going to be hoping to get some points here today. That is about it. So all he can really ask for now is score some points.
I mean, the alternative is, this isn't a track where people clean almost all the time in terms of penalties, right? I mean, you know, I'm expecting the final corner to punish a couple of people. The final couple of corners, sorry. You know, the right-hander initially will there's an example of a penalty straight off the bat.
Wow, nearly just lost it back in, sorry.
That's all right.
Kept it going in the right direction, but he's lost time on Yartek.
He's reining it back in again. Look at this. DRS and Slipstream working wonders for him.
Speech FK. Sorry, Speech FK. Rupert. Oh, battling for the same bit of track there. FK holds it off for now, but Rupert is getting feisty on the exit of turn 1. He's looking around the outside of turn 3. Has he made that? He has, but he's gone too deep into the corner and he's going to be taken straight back by FK.
Oh no!
And he's spun. Rupert's off. And fortunately, he's managed to not send that straight back onto the road because that could have been dire. Hitton's retired in the pit lane. And Rupert down to 13th. That was some great moves between both of them. Unfortunately, it came to a spin from Rupert. But FK up to P9. I think there wasn't really much FK could do about that. I think it's just the tag on his rear by Rupert, and that was that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, like I said earlier, it's a very difficult area to attack in the S's and even following it through towards the Degners. The second one is the only real one that you could potentially go for. Anywhere else is just a bit too optimistic, and you know, they did so well to be able to make the switches where they did. Ultimately, it did end up causing Rupert to rotate, and I think ultimately it's going to be just a racing incident, in my opinion. But wow, working his way towards Yolta. Coming up towards the final few corners then, this is an opportunity now for WoW to attack Yolta. You don't want to, if I'm honest. This is a situation where WoW should stay behind him completely. Don't attack him, don't do anything. Yolta is actually reeling in the front runners. If he carries on the way he is, this means that WoW can push these softs even further than normal. It's close, this is very close. He needs to sit behind Yolta. He needs to not do anything more than just try and egg Yolta on to try and go faster.
The problem is Yolta's going to see him pressurising and might burn off a little more ERS than he planned to. I haven't said that, I've just seen Paddy's ERS, and that's at 30-odd%, so which is half Yolta's ERS.
I mean, it's bad from Yolta's perspective to be where he is right now. He's got WoW on the back of him pressuring him. If like you're right, if Yolta does apply more ERS than he needs to, then Yolta's going to lose out. But in terms of WoW's position right now, he's in the best position he could really be in. Following Yolta, who's closing in the pack ahead, whether it's because he's burning so much as it is, it means that WoW can just conserve. He can just follow Yolta up until the point of where Yolta's burnt everything out trying to do anything, and then just cruises on past him. And he's potentially even gain more than one position because he's going to be immediately in the DRS of Paddy.
Yep, well, he's nearly in that DRS now with Paddy, and Anton is in the DRS zones up front. He's just playing the waiting game at the moment. I think he's trying to just burn off as much of zones as he can, wait for the pit stop window to come and go for the undercut. I think that's going to be Anton's best hope. Because again, he's just not got the drive off that final corner to threaten zones. He will close up because he's got DRS, but you'll get nowhere near overtaking. And Yelta Wow's got a DRS fault.
Has he, or is he listening? I know that he's watching the stream. I don't know if he's listening to what I've been saying or not, because I think what he's doing, I think, is the right thing. I mean, just look at the time. Yelta's now in that just those final few corners. He's closed up 3/10 on Paddy. Paddy is not really losing the pack ahead. He's not gaining. He's just sort of maybe losing about a tenth every so often.
We lost half a second last lap to Brown.
He's losing half a second over the last lap. So I think, ultimately Paddy is in trouble no matter what happens. It's just how many places will he lose? Wow just has to make sure that when Yelta goes past Paddy, that Wow's following him through.
Yeah, Paddy's just looking a little out of shape on some of these corners. It's not ideal from him. I think he might be looking towards stopping either end of this lap or end of next. Maybe these soft tyres have lost their edge for him. As we are getting towards that pit window, it is lap 8, and expecting to pit between now and lap 10 realistically, as there's a yellow in a sector that I didn't see. Euless is off the track again, unfortunately for him. That is the yellow in sector 1. He will get on before the leaders get to him though.
So I just want to keep an eye on Wow, because he is doing such a good job right now of just holding it all together. Yelta is right on the rear of Paddy. This is the moment I was talking about where Wow needs to capitalise as well. Yelta is pretty much going to pass Paddy. Wow cannot be sat behind, but I think you're right. He must have a DRS fault, because you would use it here. You would absolutely use it here. As Yelta's through on Paddy, Paddy is falling behind, and Wow is holding on.
Yeah, that's the medium tyres starting to come into their own as these softs fall off a little bit. As Euless is unfortunately DNF'd and gone. Just a couple of mistakes in a short period of time. Not going to cause safety cars. Cars are already back in the garage, but Wow, wobbling.
Yeah.
First soft guys in, by the way.
Say again, sorry?
First soft pitter has pitted, which was Kimmy's. So
Yeah.
he's done. He's out at the back.
So this is the one where we will see a few people, and it looks like the undercut, based on a couple of days ago, the undercut seemed to be the better strategy here. So whether or not people are going to go for, like Nicta might try the undercut on zones and really run away with this, potentially. The zones was fine on the softs. It's when you go on the mediums, everything fell apart, and Paddy gets a 3-second penalty for running a bit too wide in Spoon. Wow is now in a position where he can benefit from the fact that he will have 2 cars worth of tow and no one's going to have DRS, so there's an opportunity for him to close in, especially given the fact he has a DRS failure.
Yeah, it's about a 2-second swing, by the way, on the undercut, as Zones goes in to prevent the undercut. That's smart. Volkten's also in. Brownie isn't in, so Brownie will get that position. And neither Wow or Paddy's in.
No.
So, different calls all around here.
I think Wow should have pit, to be honest. I think Wow, with the fact that he's got a DRS issue, he's not really going to gain anything here by sitting in the way that he is. Absolutely pit now, get yourself in, change that situation up, and pray that your mechanics fix it whilst you're in the pits, because at least then you can come out.
I don't know if they
It doesn't
can.
matter if you don't have DRS on it.
I don't know if they can. It's been a while since I've tried, but the one person that definitely should have pitted above everyone else was Paddy.
Yeah.
Look how close he is to his teammate. He's going to be kicked hard when he decides to pit. He's got to hope Brownie stays out and he comes in this lap, or vice versa, because it's not going to be a nice pit stop for him.
Yelta's already building a gap as well, which just again kind of shows the situation that the softs
Oh,
are
Dax is
falling
off.
away now. Yeah. Is that the same? No, it's not. That's the second
It's
Dax.
ridiculous. But that's good news for Zones. That's one less person he's got to worry about trying to pass through cleanly on him.
Well, I mean, it's also great news for the Yelta as well. Look at him up in P3. Yes, he will pit later than everyone else, or at least later than these soft runners, and he will be in a position where he can switch the softs and then just bullet away. My worry is, I'm worried he might pit too early. He needs to just make sure that he takes these tyres to the life expectancy of the strategy, get on those softs and just nail in some time trial laps.
Paddy's staying out. Wow is in, so Wow will get the undercut here on Paddy. N-turn's also in, so keep your eyes on the N-turn zones. N-turns are not... Oh, there you go. It's just a visual bug.
Well, here's Zones then down the home straight. I don't know whether or not Nickton's going to gain anything out of this. There he is, and there's Zones. No. So Zones has actually done a beautiful undercut. As we said, the undercut is better than the, I guess, the overcut, if you like. And Zones is protecting himself just nicely.
Yeah, he got about a second swing there. And N-turn didn't do as well as he could have done, and his teammate's still out there actually. Copy's still going on those softs, similar to Paddy. And we'll see how that one works out for them. Where is Paddy? Paddy's still in second place on the rear of Yeltek. Yeah. Interesting to see where he drops it when he pits.
So Yeltek is looking very good for a podium here. If he keeps this up, if he continues in the manner he has been, there is very much a podium on the cards for him. I mean, we're looking at him right now, 10 places up. Obviously started P11, Smeech there P3, FK P4. FK obviously started right at the back of the grid. And Yeltek's just driven perfectly. I don't want to jinx him. I'm hoping I haven't jinxed him now that I've said that. This is looking really good.
Not entirely sure what the pit stop times here. Like, that was a big corner cut there from Yeltek. He would have got a warning for that. Paddy is in, so this will give us an idea of the pit stop times. I will let you know once it's happened, approximately. Obviously, I might not get it wrong, but we'll see where he comes out. He should come out around Wow. Should be about 22.
Right, where's Wow then? Come on, let's see what you got. I think he might get him. They are going to be very close on the exit. Wow got a penalty for corner cutting. There is Paddy. Wow, he's going to be chasing hard, trying to get around the outside. He's got the grip. This is going to be tight. He just slips on by. Beautiful overtake there from Wow. That was really, really on the limit.
So it's about a 21-22 second pit stop. If Yelta pits now, he'll come out ahead of Wow, probably on the rear of Brownie.
That would be a dream, wouldn't it? That would be a dream for him to be in that scenario. That would be so good for Yelta to really push. And then again, bear in mind, he's going to be on the softest tyre. He should be in a position to just bolt away and start reeling in the front runners. Brownie's usually the guy who would do the harder compound to the softer compound, but today he was within that top 10 because he qualified on the softs. So he's obviously having to do the soft mediums. Yelta's looking really good right now.
Yeah. The one thing Yelta's got to do is he's got to come out ahead of Wow. If he comes out behind Wow Paddy Kimmies, he's done for. He's got to pass 3 extra cars, and they're all battling each other, which is going to be really hard to do anything with. So that is where he's got to fall. Currently, Wow is 22 and a bit seconds behind. It is possible to come out ahead of Wow. It's going to be close, though.
Oh, FK just getting a little bit wide there. So Zones has managed to get past FK through 130i. It was very close, but still very tidy overtake from Zones straight down the inside. FK Game's going to try and carry too much speed. He's ran right off into the runoff area. That means that Nickton will slip on through as well. He's got a penalty for his troubles, as if he wasn't penalised enough. That's additional there, 3 seconds.
Yeah, not many penalties so far, touch wood. I've only had 5, of which 4 of the drivers still running. FKs you just saw, Wow, Paddy and Rupert all have a 3-second penalty to their name. The Wow and Paddy penalties could be race changing if Kimmy's going to hold on to the back of them.
Yeah. So Copy is in a bit of a pickle realistically. That's him out of points unless things fall apart, such as FK Gaming and Smeed. I mean, he's currently down there in P11, 15.1 seconds off of P10. So yeah, he's slowly breaking that down a little bit. I just don't think Copy's going to be able to get him anything out of this today.
Well, I think he's got to hope for another DNF or 2 to give him a chance of getting points. At the moment, when FK pits, he will come out around... probably come out just ahead of Copy by about 5 seconds, I think.
Oh, Smeej made a mistake. That's going to hold back Zones just a smidgen, which will only bring Nickton in a little bit.
Just the speed.
He's already... well played. He's already through. We've got a lovely suspension shot there for a second. Zones is ahead, and Nickton now, if he wants to reel in Zones a little bit, he's going to have to get a move on. The only thing he's really pinning his hopes on now is whether or not Zones gets a penalty.
Yeah, well, it's not out of the realms of possibility just yet. Just keep my eyes on Yelta. He's going to be coming in probably around 17, maybe
Copy?
18. Sorry?
Yellow flag sector 3. Looked like it was Copy. Copy did lose a position to Rupert. It must have been Copy.
Yeah, 3 seconds lost in that final sector. So it'll be him. Yeah. I think that's him definitely done for points today.
Yeah, without DNFs at least.
Yeah.
It would literally need to be 2 right now. And oh, Kimmy's almost lost 3 here. That would have been the snap they needed. Kept that alive though, still alright. But yeah, it's exactly what Copy needs, is for these guys to just push themselves a little bit too far and off into the wall they go. DNF from the race and Copy gains a place or 2. That'd be ideal for him, but these guys don't want that.
Zones has set a purple sector 1 on his charge now after Yelta.
Oh.
That could be, well, I think
podium
everyone knows what that could be. That could be podium changing. Probably not race winning changing, but definitely podium changing. Yeah. The way he's going.
It's unrealistic to expect Yelta to get into the top 3 now, into the top 2 now as a result. Wow, look at the pace that Nickton's got onto Smeege. That was a very smooth and simple overtake. No hesitation there. There was so much. He was so fast coming out that final corner. He's actually slowly working towards Zones now.
You say that, but he lost half a second that lap, being stuck behind Smeege. Zones hit the fastest of anyone, 30.559, and it turned to the 31.071. In comparison, Yelta did a 31.650. So, Yelta's lost a second, but obviously he hasn't pitted just yet. Pit stop window is probably starting to open any moment, because obviously you can do a little bit longer on the softs with less fuel. Probably, as I said earlier, I think 17, 18 is the realistic stop time for him. Unless he feels the need.
So Kimmy's working towards Paddy then, 4/10 being that current gap, and Paddy is 1.2 off of WoW, so there's an opportunity. Bear in mind WoW has penalties, and I think Paddy does as well. So realistically, Kimmy is looking pretty good.
Yeah, both 3 seconds for Paddy and WoW as it stands. So Kimmy just needs to sit around here, really. I mean, if Paddy's losing time to WoW, then he needs to get past. Just stick on the back of WoW, and that's something he's going to need to watch. But keep in mind, Kimmy's tyres are significantly older than Paddy's. 3 laps difference. It may not sound a lot, but it is. As Smeege pits, that's going to be good for everyone that we're catching up to him.
So Yelta needs to go 1 more lap, really. He needs to come in on lap 17 in order to make those softs really fast throughout the entirety of their stint. Here comes Kimmy's then, straight down the inside of Paddy. Very nice overtake, but Paddy's still there. He's still on the outside. He's lost out now. Paddy could return the favour. I don't think he will. But Kimmy's up in a P8 then.
Well, this is all working really well for Yelta, because if these guys keep battling, Yelta will come out ahead of them. I think he's going to come out just behind WoW, and it's going to be tight though. If you can put in a blistering in lap, then he's got a chance to come out ahead. But he's 21 seconds ahead of WoW at the moment. Paddy and Kimmy's both making mistakes on the Degners.
Yep. Just under pressure from each other. One's trying to charge down the other. Paddy's trying to recover what the position he just lost. And not even that in itself has a mentality issue where if you get yourself, no, I've just lost that position, I'm slow, why am I so slow, what's going wrong? And then you push everything trying to get it all back, and you go a bit too far, get a penalty, and it's just a downhill spiral. Is the odds coming in? Yes, he is.
Yeah, just looking at his sector times, they've been dropping off the last few laps. I don't think he left himself much of a choice than others to come in. And he will come out potentially ahead of Kimmy's, but it's going to be tight.
Right, let's see then. Where is Kimmy's on the track? He's coming through the triangle, around the final corner now. Nice and clean. WoW is a fair bit ahead. Is WoW going to... There's Yelta.
Just behind WoW.
WoW, exactly as you said. Not quite as close to Kimmy's as I initially thought. So
no, he's done well.
Yelta's doing a really good job, yeah. He's got that 3-second penalty, which will affect him later. once he gets past Wow, he can just start working that gap down between him and Brownie. It's only 3 seconds between them, and if he can carry on maintaining pace, he should easily cover that 3 seconds at penalty that he's got, no problem.
Yeah, well, Brownie's battling with Boltzan at the moment, so they are going to be a little bit slower than expected. So he'll catch him up quite quickly, probably. I mean, based on the times we've seen so far, he's probably been about a second a lap. I fully expect once he else has passed Brownie, past Wow, he'll put in a purple lap or near purple lap, and really show Brownie what pace he's got here today. I think he also wants to get past Wow already. He doesn't want to wait for the DRS, he just wants to go.
Yeah.
Almost like he's getting held up there.
Can't, every single tenth that he loses sitting behind Wow will affect him later on with that penalty, and if he gets in his own head and starts having issues, then that's where he's going to start getting more penalties. He has stayed in mode 0 throughout the entirety of that run in towards 130R, so he is waiting for DRS on Wow. I think that's a mistake in my opinion, but he knows better than me. Let's see now, he's going for it. There's the inside, that's a nice simple overtake. No issues there, he's got DRS as well to help him close in. Wow's going to try and help gain a bit more time to the car behind him. Just keep that gap nice and big.
Yep, Smidge is on the charge as well. He just went purple in sector 3 with a 40.388. Comparison to Paddy in front of him did a 41.141. So he's carving up that gap. And let's keep our eyes on Yelta's sector times as they come in. I expect this one to be quick.
Yeah.
Yep, it's purple. 32.772 there for Yelta in the first sector, and I think this is probably going to see a close to a 30.4, probably 30.3 if he nails it.
I'm really hopeful for Yelta. I'm praying that he can get into the top 3. I mean, he's really killing it today. Yeah, he's got that one penalty. If you take that out of the equation, he's had a pretty perfect drive, to be truthfully honest. To drive from how far back he did to the position he's in right now. 6 places gained. He did start in P11, which I would argue is actually probably one of the best places to be on the track. I think it's in the top 3 places. 1, 2, and 11, I would say, are the best places to be in my opinion, anyway. Yeah,
11 if people in front have penalties as well. It gets even better, doesn't it? But let's see what Yelta's lap time is. Is it going to be a low 30?
Purple.
Wow, it's not even a low 30, it's a high 29. I think I underestimated him a bit there.
We all have.
For reference, Brownie did a 31.5, so just shy of 2 seconds quicker.
Well, Brownie is working on Boltzan. Copy is making mistakes. He's now down into P13 with a 8/10 gap to him, and Dax seriously had a rough race as Copy. Yes, wasn't his fault, but mentality has been the major downfall for him today. You can tell he just seems deflated now in his times alone. You could just look at them and go, yeah, he's given up. And that in itself is something you have to work on as a driver. You can never give up because something can always work out for you.
Yeah, and it's working out at the moment for Yelta. He's right up 1.3 now off Brownie. Brownie lost 3/10 in the hairpin, battling with Boltzan, and this is going to be quite crucial for Yelta. He wants to get past these guys as quickly as possible, but with them battling, it's going to be even harder, and they may not be aware of how quick Yelta is coming at them, and they should be because they can now see him.
Yep. I'm really impressed by Yelta's drive. I think he's done such a good job today, especially considering how little practice he's had over the festive period. He's literally been able to come back, practice today, and that's it. That's all he's done. He's not done any more than that, and it just shows the raw talent he has. There's the first 5-second penalty. That is for that final corner, or final second to last corner, should I say.
Casino Triangle.
Yeah, that one. Already so close. He's reeling him in.
Yeah, he did a 30.4 there, comparison to 31.2 for Brownie, so it is coming down. And now Yelta's inside that 1 second. He's going to have to get past really quickly here. I think because he can now position himself between Brownie and Boltzan when he gets there, he'll go for the early overtake. There's no reason not to. You'll still get DRS in the guy in front of you. ERS wise, he has burnt off a lot. Brownie has a lot of ERS. It's 80% for Brownie. Boltzan's on 37. So
Here we go then. It's breaking down. Yolta 50% ERS. Like you said, Brownie is loving life. Borgsan is not. He's in trouble. Serious trouble. As here comes Yolta onto the back of this. He doesn't quite realise, I think, how close Yolta is. He is going to know that that Red Bull behind him is ready to go. But now Brownie is also in a position where, yes, he could manage it. He can manage everything on Borgsan. He's done the usual tactic of, well, Borgsan, you haven't got DRS. All I'm going to do is just sit in your toe and manage my ERS, let you burn it all together, and I'll just pass you eventually. I think it's either now or don't do it at all, because look how close Yolta is. He's already firing up onto the back of Brownie. DRS available for both of these drivers. Borgsan is about to lose P3. Brownie knows this is the time. Borgsan knows it's time to defend. They go side by side. We're literally wheel to wheel. There was a little touch there between the two of them, but somehow Borgsan stays alive. Here comes Yolta looking for Brownie. No deep dive from Brownie. It means that we are going to stay exactly as is, at least through the S's.
Borgsan had a bit of a tank slapper in the middle of the first corner, or first turn even, and he actually corrects himself on the side of Brownie. So Borgsan's managed to come away from that with still a podium.
Well, podium and a minor heart attack, because I'm pretty sure he was ready to just fall apart at that moment in time.
Yolta's coming down the
here goes Yolta! That's a dive and a half, and that's a beautiful move straight in on Brownie. Brownie's still got the inside, though. That's the major issue he's got to face. And I think if Yolta can keep himself alongside into the left-hander of Spoon, which he cannot, Brownie gets it back. Yolta might go again for that send. That was a really good... I love how it's just such a split-second decision.
You can see it coming before it even happened. I mean, I could anyway. I'm sure Brownie knew it was on his way. He left a lot of room. Borgsan kicks up some dust. Going up to 130. I mean, he's going to be a little bit slower. Yeltsin's looking down the inside here. Brownie's looking around the outside of Borgsan. Borgsan looks like he's just given up there.
I think Brownie's he's worried about that ERS level. He's struggling.
He's through. Yeltsin's going to have this one. Brownie doesn't get DRS. Borgsan and Yeltsin do.
This is so close. Oh man, Yolta's just stuck on the outside. Borgsan's holding him dead to rights on the inside. He's lost the position in the end. I think Borgsan's plan was, let these two through. I haven't got the ERS to fight this. I need to get DRS in order to stay with them, so let him go. I'm just going to try and cover off Yolta and then do what I can after that.
Let them trip over themselves and I'll pick up the scraps, yeah.
Sadly, no trip though for him, so he's just got to sit in P5.
They got close to tripping.
Yeah,
very close. Maybe well. Zones is currently leading by 4.5 seconds.
I don't know what's happened to Nickton. Something's just gone wrong.
Well, nothing's... No, Zones is just too quick today about these things. And it says not slow by any means. He's just not as quick as Zones today. I mean, look, he's got a 7.5 second lead over Brownie. Okay, yes, they've been battling for the last few laps, and that's really helped, but Anytime, just... Yeah, I mean... Oh, he has a big wobble. Not going to have a chance of Brownie up the hill. Borgsan's well off the back now, but we'll still get DRS if you can hold on.
Now here's the sad news. Yolta currently doesn't gain the position he's in currently. He is net P5 because of that penalty that he's got. I mean, he has got 4 and a bit laps to go in order to achieve that said gap.
That helps.
I've just helped him out a little bit.
Obviously, those 5 seconds are commonly disputed because they're so easy to get. But as I was saying earlier, a warning is not enough, but a 5 seconds is too much, so maybe it gets reduced to 2 warnings, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it.
We'll leave it to the stewards to decide, but yeah, Brownie doing well to hold Yolta back. Yolta is just trying to close it up a little bit and nurse that ERS. It is pretty low. It's a little bit lower than Brownie's is. Borgsan is only just ahead of him slightly on ERS, that's it.
Borgsan's able to just sit in the back now and lap it up. Save some ERS, maybe make a charge of Brownie on the last lap if Yeltsin doesn't get past them. Or maybe just let these two fight out, take each other out, or pick up penalties, and again, then you get the podium at the end.
Yeah. I mean, this is. Bear in mind, this is also the team game. I mean, despite the fact they're in different cars, they are in the same esports team, so they do still have to try and help each other out in
No, they
getting
don't.
as many points as possible. But
No,
Yolta
they don't.
is not going to do that. He's just going to focus on getting what he can. That is big.
Not really. That's not going to change anything.
So it just means that even if Zones gets a few penalties,
Yeah.
he's not gonna be able to capitalise now.
I think esports teams go out the window when you're fighting on a track. You don't help each other out. The only time you help each other out if you are in the same
Here we go.
actual team.
Oh, Yolta, he was looking for Brownie. I think he was trying to force Brownie into a mistake, and he almost bit that bait there. Not enough though. Yellow flag sector 3. Who's that?
Rupert, potentially? I'll check his sector time when it comes in. No, it wasn't Rupert. He went very quick.
Dax potentially.
No, he went very quick as well.
Don't know then.
The only person that lost time in sector 3 was FK, so it might have been him. Had a wobble or something. He lost about 8/10 to Rupert there, so could be him. I did just see a penalty, didn't I?
It was Wow. Again, another
Okay.
3 seconds, so he's added to his already quite large list of penalties. He's going to be struggling now to maintain the position he's in. I think he's going to fall, where is it, about P9?
He's definitely got 6. The 5 seconds will be applied at the end, whether or not that would be part of it, as FK definitely had problems as he's now out. That's at the Dagners.
Yeah. I don't know how he's done that.
Oh, it's easy to do. You just lose the back end on the exit and you throw it in the wall on the left or the right. I've done it. But I've crashed
That
in most
doesn't
places.
surprise me.
No, I was going to say I've crashed in most corners. It's easy to find a corner I haven't crashed in. Or have crashed
Wow
in.
has left the session. I don't know whether that was through a disconnect or what, but we'll come back to that in a second because Yolta is making moves on Brownie now. This is what he's been waiting for, but maybe he's waited a bit too long. Brownie's going to stick in there, but not enough. And Yolta now up in the P3 has to focus entirely on his lines, his consistency, and his pace. He has to build a 3-second gap to Brownie in order to cover off that penalty he's got and secure a podium spot.
Yeah, and he's immediately pulled out a little gap as well. 6/10 up already, nearly 7/10 now. And look at the others, he's gone. He might not get the 3 seconds at the checkered flag, but Brownie may pick up penalties. He's one of those drivers that is not immune, but he either gets penalties or he gets nothing. And it's one of these races where he doesn't want anything. But I feel it may be one of those races that he does.
If he makes a mistake in that second to last, that will cause him a lot of problems. I mean, he'll only lose the place to Bulksan, but currently he's running P3 right now. If he can keep it clean, that is a solid podium spot for him, and it'll be a recreation of what we saw 2 days ago, effectively.
Yes, although that may change, I don't know. There's a lot of penalties in that one.
Yeah.
Some got appeal, some didn't, I think. But he's there, he's still got DRS here, and that is the crucial part. He also didn't pull away enough as we're on 2 laps to go for these guys.
I think you also just got another warning on the corner that gives you that 5-second penalty. So he needs to be careful. He was definitely off track there. How is he managing this? His ERS levels are really low. Currently, he's not able to... I don't think he's going to break this gap. He's got this and next lap to do it in. It's 8/10, 9/10 now. But the ERS level for Yolta is just so low.
Quick one for you. I've just had a quick look at the warnings. Yelta's 1 warning away from getting a penalty, and so is Boltzan. Brownie is 2 warnings away from a penalty.
Well, luckily, the second to last corner doesn't require any warnings. It will just give you that straight up 5-second penalty if you cut it a bit too hard, and I thought that was the Smeege game one, but nope, that was in the Degners. That was the first one. That first Degner, sometimes you can cut it pretty hard, sometimes you can't cut it at all, and looks like you just cut it a little bit too much. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
That's it then. So Yolta now finishes P5 at best, unless, and it's a big unless Brownie and Bullocksan both get that 5-second penalty on the second to last. He currently has, well now he doesn't, currently has that gap covered if that was to happen.
I think Brownie just needs to play it safe. There's no point pushing this. He is the type of driver that have us open. He'll be listening to us. He'll know the situation. And he'll be able to just take that into mind. Just go, right, well, okay. I just need to stay ahead of Boltzan and stay within 6 seconds of Yelta here. I don't need to take any silly risks.
No.
Boltzan's falling back as well. He's 1.3 seconds off the pace of Brownie. I think Brownie's going to have this covered.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Boltzan has to keep himself alert though. He cannot afford to make a mistake. He can't afford to get a penalty. He is nearing the danger zone. If he gets a singular penalty, he is almost at the point where Yelta has him covered. So he would then sit P4. But it's getting a bit narrow. He needs to just get a move on.
It could be a final corner thing for Boltzan, I think. It could be a final warning on that last corner, and then he loses the chance of passing Yelta. But we'll soon see. As Zones is coming up to 130 after the last time today, and taking a rather simple win.
It's a very different Zones we've seen today into comparison of where we saw last time, a couple of days ago, and he is literally in the zone, smashing it through the final few corners. Zones did it all perfectly well, crosses a line and gets the race win. Doesn't get a fastest lap. I believe that went to Yelta, and Nick Turn crosses P2. Yelta's in there at P3 right now, but we know that 6-second penalty will take effect, and he will lose to Brownie, and he will lose to Boltzan, and that puts him P5.
Yeah, it's harsh here. So he did such a good job to get up there, but penalties just, messed him up at the end of the day.
Oh, wow. He literally didn't lose. Oh, there you go. Smeej jumps 2 places, gets in P7. So good stuff from Smeej to start outside the top 10, finish in P7.
Copy and Dax, final lap, final corners. Is Copy going to go everything crazy?
No, it's for P11, there's no point. Oh, Dax almost lost it there. And there it is.
Well, you can go everything crazy on the last corner, why not? Copy got 10.
Neither of us said that Zones was going to win. We both went in Nick Turn to take the win. Yeah, Nick Turn got P2 and he absolutely killed it, but Zones killed it even more. Look at that. Hoisting that trophy up, very well deserved. Now let's go see the end result then.
Copy got 10th. That's the surprise.
Yeah. So, Zones is your winner. He absolutely killed it and will take the 25 points. And Nick Turn takes P2. Didn't have a great stint overall, but I mean, it's still fast, doesn't he, to be able to be in P2. But yeah, Zones was just that bit further ahead. Brownie then gets P3 due to penalties. It was Yolta who crossed the line in P3, but just had too many mistakes made, falls him down the order. Boltzan also capitalised on that. He gained P4, where Yolta did finish in P5 in the end. Kimmies gets P6 and Smeej jumps some places. He goes P7 as Wow and Paddy both finish P8 and 9 with a fair few penalties to their name. And like you said, Copy getting that final point there. After having such a great qualifying, having such a great start, things fell apart a couple of laps in. And then immediately, he falls right away to the back. Rupert getting the Best of the Rest award. And that is the end of that Grand Prix. So, final question for you. Who is your driver of the day?
Well, I mean, if Yelta managed to hold the podium, I would have given it to him. But I think I'm going to have to go Zones. I don't like going for the race winner, as everyone knows. But he just drove such a great race today. He got the lead through the pit stops and never looked back. I think he just drove the perfect race today.
Yeah. I'm in complete agreement with you. Zones definitely get driver of the day. Absolutely killed it, and that's fair play to him. So that's it from us here in the Apex Online Racing F2 League. I've been Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me has been Jamie Amkasa Elder. Jamie, as always, thank you so much for commentating with me. It has been a pleasure, as per usual, but we'll be back next week on Sunday, same time, for the next Grand Prix, which is the Mexico Grand Prix. Definitely didn't cheat. 100% didn't cheat. You've got no proof. And good night.
Tom Ashley.